to basically undercut the power of birth control, which people in these circles believe, I think it's a pretty good argument, actually has affected women's fertility. Women get married later, meaning they're on birth control for longer and longer periods of their life, which makes it harder to ultimately conceive when they want to, because they've married later in their 30s, and that's already harder off the bat. So that's the idea behind it. You know, is it is it going to be a tough sell? Absolutely. Is it the role of the federal government? That is a different conversation that we can have, but just to sort of explain some of the thinking, that's where it comes from. And then 3, this gets to what Sagar was just talking about, bestowing a special medal on mothers of 6 or more children.
So basically all the Mormons, yeah.
Well, all the Mormons, and this is, you were about to allude,
Yeah.
because you were talking about how the Soviet Union looked at policies like these, and particularly that policy.
Yes, the medal, like the hero of the Soviet Union. If you had more than 4 or more children, and guess what? Didn't work. If anything, actually, the fertility rate fell off a cliff even more after the decline of the Soviet Union and the ushering in of their 1990s like disaster capitalism. So I have a run in front of me of all of the programs which have even been moderately successful. So France, highest birth rate in all of Western Europe, 1.8. So still not above replacement. They have up to 3 years of paternity leave, of parental leave, up to 3 years. They have monthly child allowances, which are not means tested. They have huge tax benefits. They have massively subsidized childcare, which is actually good. Like people who are very well trained, and they give them very nutritious food. They have a, quote, cultural normalization of working mothers. They're still only at 1.8. And a lot of that, let's be honest, is because of the immigration population. Number 2, the Swedish and Nordic countries. These places have universal childcare, job security protection. They have parental leave that you're like required to basically take culturally for a year. Guess what? Doesn't work. Egalitarian parental leave. Hungary, probably the one country which threw everything. Massive cash incentives, 30,000 euro loan for young couples who are partially forgiven per child. Lifetime income tax exemption for mothers of 4 kids. Home buying subsidies, free IVF, slight increase only to 1.6 in the overall birth rate.
Yes.
You need 2.2 just to be above. Like I can go on forever. Russia, same thing. They tried in 2015. It's actually declined so far. War doesn't help. Actually, again, the only country developed in the world that has an above replacement fertility rate is Israel, and even amongst their secular Jewish population, nobody really knows why. I mean, they do have a lot of policies. Like they've got norms. Exclude the Orthodox Jews, because that's not really fair.
There's an existential fear that
there's like
industrial
an existential
capitalism removes for most.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's literally like a civilization that's like, if we do not reproduce, our land will be taken away from us, right? And but they have the same thing. They have state-funded IVF. They have generous family allowances. They have universal health care. They've got big, cultural norms favoring children. If you ever go to Israel, there's kids everywhere, right? But my point just on all of this is it's not policy. It's just culture. And I hate to say that. I wish if it were a policy problem, we could fix it. But at best, you can squeeze like a 0.3 or a 0.4. I mean, that's a lot, actually.
Exactly.
But I mean, even then, you have to rewrite the social contract of the entire United States. Now, I'll also be clear. I would be in favor of many of these policies, even if it only did 0.3 and 0.4, because it makes life easier for even when you have 1 or 2 children. I mean, I'm going through this process right now. Oh, $5,000, thanks. I'll consider covering a portion of my deductible, which is just going to be just for childbirth, all right? I really appreciate you covering it, even though I pay like $500 a month. Awesome.
Dad Sagar is going to be so much fun.
Yeah, I'm already going off.
It's going to be so much fun. He's just like already an old man.
This is part of my blue MAGA turn. It's like, oh, great. Now my stroller's more expensive. The car seat's going to be more expensive. I'm lucky. I bought all this stuff before the tariffs, but there's a lot of people out there. They don't have any money.
Those were investments,
right? What are they
you
going to
can
do?
Flip those.
And you go, well, oh, this shit only lasts for 6 months. Great. Now I have to go. Actually, a good point. I should probably buy my infant stroller seat right now before the tariffs and all of that go up, because I was going to wait. Guess I can't now. I'm just saying. Like,
we're already getting grumpy text messages from Sagar about the cost of shit.
That's true. That's true. You should, berries. I mean, these kids, they're like berry machines, the amount that they're buying there. And Trump wants to put a 10% tariff on them. I could go on forever. Joking. My point is just looking at these policies. I think they're very noble. I think it's a good idea. However, it is not a magic bullet. It's just not. And the truth is that every developed society in the world just has a low birth rate. And there's just something about the comfort of industrial capitalism, of the lack of like need for, of the lack of like rural, area community and all these other things. The truth is like even here in America, the poorest people have the most kids. It's one of the most like, it's the craziest thing is that the people who are the most impacted by it, but who largely have not yet absorbed like all of the cultural milieu of like the middle class lifestyle and the vacations and all these other things are the people who are having the most children. The moment that you assimilate to the higher echelons of American society, you have less children. The only exception is when you reach the extreme end of the wealth spectrum of like 0.1%.
Oh yeah, they
people
love to
like
get married
Elon.
and have kids.
They love to get married and to have children, but that's because they've genuinely exited like U.S. society. It's everybody else in between that you're like, well, people are like, oh, yeah, but I want to go to Disneyland or whatever. I'm like, oh, do you have $5,000 if you have 4 kids? Hope you do, and you're going to be driving. You can't even fly.
And to be honest, I don't even think a lot of the economic constraints affect the question of whether people end up going above replacement rate. I think it's genuinely just that when you have a career-centric society, it's very hard to have 3 children.
Yes.
And that's where we see, I think, one of the saddest things that Lyman Stone has researched, he's quoted in this article with the Institute for Family Studies, is that American women actually say that they have fewer children than they want.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's because they start later than they want in order to have, well, not than they want, but they start later, so late that they don't end up being able to have as many children as they want. And that's genuinely one of the sadder things. And it's not really a policy, at least not in the policy structure of the American economy right now or in the American government right now. That's not really a policy question. It's much more of a cultural question.
It's a huge cultural question. It's also about what do you even want, right? Like, this gets to the whole two-income trap and a lot of the problems with the consumption economy and the driving up of the overall consumptive rate of the average family, which necessitates a 2-person household that has to work. But there are realities here. But the counter to what I'm saying is the Swedish model. In all these where they have everything, every benefit that an American could possibly want to make their life easier. Leave, money, cultural norms and all that, and they still don't have a lot of kids.
So this is really interesting because this is where both the left and the right are predicating their solutions on materialism.
Yeah, that's right.
Right, so the right solution is a little bit more money, the left solution is a little bit more money, a little bit more childcare, and those things can be good policies.
Totally.
Whether or not they help the birth rate, they can be good policies. Like a $5,000 baby bonus is probably a good policy.
I think it's a good policy.
But is it actually going to help the birth rate? No, because these are not primarily material concerns. They're cultural ones. And just to wrap this all up, Ross Douthat reacted to the New York Times article by posting it on X and saying, of course, I think it's good for the administration to consider pronatalist ideas, but right now nothing would be more pronatalist than avoiding an unnecessary recession.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
And so what we're looking at 6 months down the road is a Trump administration coming up with a $5,000 baby bonus into a horrible economy for families, where, to your point, they can't buy bananas for their babies.
Yes.
Or they can buy bananas. They're just exceedingly expensive and there aren't as many of them in stock. So yeah, this is it's on a collision course for the Trump administration.
Wow. Yeah, I just looked it up. Birth rate collapsed by 0.5 just in 2009 from 2008.
Yeah.
Just to show you what a recession can do. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.